is my home. I promise to keep it healthy and beautiful. I will love the land, the air, the water, and all living creatures. I will be a defender of my planet, united with friends. I will save the earth.
My name is Commissioner Frank Avila. I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And this is part 2 of the second International Conference on Water and Waste Management. And as my guest, I have Sam Pappu. Sam is the president of the Water and Waste Management Conference. My second guest is Dr. Tata. He's the co-chair of the Water and Waste Management Conference. And my third guest is Carolyn Greaves. She's the co-chair of the woman leader in the Water and Waste Management. Thanks for being on the show for part 2.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Carolyn, I'm going to start with you first.
Great.
Carolyn?
Yes.
Carolyn, how can we encourage more women leader into water and waste management?
I think it starts with students and starting with schools and getting involved at a young age and letting students know what engineering is, what water and wastewater means, and what kind of career opportunities there are for them. Even as young as 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, start letting them know what these are all about. And here in Illinois, we get lots of opportunities to help educate students through programs like STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and math, and GEMS programs, which are focused for girls for engineering and math. And being able to go to those types of programs and sharing your passion on engineering, on water and wastewater, and getting them excited about what's out there, because I can guarantee you most 2nd, 3rd, 4th graders have no clue what these words we're even talking about. Letting them know, starting to educate them, and as they get further along in their careers in junior high level here, so the 7th, 8th graders, getting them involved. We have something here in Illinois called water tower competition. So we have students build water towers, and they have to be creative and use their imagination, but they also have to be structurally sound. So they have to start using some engineering principles to make sure these towers can hold up. And we help host that through ISA WWA, which is the Illinois section of American Water Works. So these are great programs that can be repeated across the nation, through India, be able to share some of this information to let girls know that these are opportunities they can choose as they get further along in their careers.
Yeah, that's good, because in the month of February here in Cook County, we have what? Engineering Week. I mean, that's about the whole United States.
Yeah.
Engineering Week,
Yeah,
where we
great
have
time.
conferences, workshops, invite all the kids. And you mentioned STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math.
Correct.
But now they have what? STEAM now.
Yes.
STEM and STEAM.
Yes.
Because how did they pick STEAM?
I'm not sure how they pick STEAM, but I love the fact that they're adding more to it and more, again, opportunities for education for students to learn about all these great opportunities for them.
Because STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Get the creative mind and the technical mind working together to solve problems.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people, even people who have careers, after school, understand that in the water and wastewater industry and in engineering, you need to have creative thought to come up with solutions and be able to find unique ways to be able to answer problems for water and wastewater challenges. So using that creative mind is very important.
Think out of the box.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why the girls that are in 2nd and 3rd grade and 4th grade have this opportunity, especially here in Cook County in the Chicagoland area, and they're going to be introduced to this in India for your conference.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Now, Sam, whom do you expect to attend and participate in the conference?
Okay, the speakers of the conference are like the majority are from the USA, and then of course from the other countries like the Germany. We have from the speakers from Thailand. We have from Singapore. These are all one part, and then we have the local experts from the India. So these are all the speakers. Like they make into, as earlier we were mentioning, like a knowledge platform. From the attendees perspective, we have got like the municipal commissioners, and these are all the administrators, like who are all like actually implementing the water and waste management projects, across the municipalities and then across the villages like that. So those people will be attending. And then we have got like the local consultants and then the research scholars and particularly the industry. So we invited like the industry across India, like who are in the water and waste management sector. So they can come and then they can see what are all the opportunities available and what technologies are available across the globe. So these are all the different type of attendees and then speakers we have for this conference.
That's
including
good.
the students too. Like we are inviting the students, like from the because like for the competition we are trying to hold the poster competition, and then one of the other thing is like we are having for the engineering students. We try to present the papers, and the best papers will be selected, and the best paper will be they have the chance to present also.
Well, that's good that you're inviting different types of people to attend the conference, because whether Prakash or Carolyn mentioned that you have an idea, you show them how to do it, the practice, but then you have to implement it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you're inviting from A to Z.
Yes.
And you're including even a STEM type of program, because you're inviting the college kids into this program.
Yes.
And is this, Sam, is this the largest water and wastewater conference in India? Or a different type of conference?
Yes, it is a different type of conference. I say that like I can't claim like this is the largest conference, but we can claim that this is the only conference which has got like a US basin route, because last time more than like 20 organizations from USA represented in that conference, and this time we are getting like more than 25 to 30 big corporations, big organizations like the MWRD, the waterreuse.org, the AWWA, and to name some of these ones, like there are like a lot of other agencies which are there, the speakers, all these people. So they are all representing from USA side. And also like the one more thing is like the non-profit organizations of based in USA, most of them, we are also getting them involved. Okay, the biggest non-profit organizations connecting with the cultural side, like the American Telugu associations, and then some of the other non-profit organizations, like Tata has a non-profit organization like Bharati Tirtha. He does a lot of work in India, and same as here. So like this, we are involving a lot of non-profit organizations also.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned what Prakash is doing here in Naperville area, in the Cook County area, and he wants to implement that in India. You're doing a lot of good things throughout the world, Prakash.
Yes, yes.
Now, Prakash, in addition to the 8 tracks of the technical program that Sam mentioned, you mentioned earlier, what other types of programs you are planning to have? And also, how are you going to promote the conference? These are 2 questions.
Yeah, okay, that's a good thing. See, since all these delegates are coming first from such a long distance, I thought it would be a good thing for them to see other part of the country, also small portion of the country, and also engage them in with another institution, for example. So we are fortunate to be invited when Dr. W.R. Reddy, he is the Director General of the National Institute for Rural Development, and he said, Dr. Tata, we'll host one day's conference, bring all those guests who are attending this conference at our institute, and let them tell us what the best management practices for sustainability and things like that from their viewpoint, what they saw after this conference held in Hyderabad. So that is a great invitation. The good part is we don't have to buy our lunches or anything. He's going to provide them. So that's a great thing. So that is one thing we are going to do. And then part of them may drop off, go back and see other places or whatever it is, but some of them are still, they still want to go further into Vizag, Visakhapatnam, that coastal city, which you visited also.
Yes.
And there, I met a bunch of youth, you know, they're very excellent volunteers, Indian Youth for Society. And I'm working with them for the last 2 years. They are working on plastic waste elimination and cleaning water bodies. So
And that's where the solid waste comes in.
solid waste, yes. They insisted, that you have to come here,
Yes.
and we will conduct a zero waste conference.
A zero waste conference.
Zero waste, yes. That's the theme of the thing that they said. I didn't want to discourage them, Carolyn. I hope you come there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's very important because now these third world countries are not accepting our waste anymore.
Right.
And we have problems here too
Right.
Yes.
on the solid waste.
So that one is going to be on February 22nd and 23rd, exclusively. So we will take them then a field visit to see what these youth are doing with regard to this plastic waste. And the interesting thing was I'm supporting them. I'm raising money. I'm asking people to donate. What I found was there is a need for a pickup truck for these people.
Okay.
And I'm raising money for that. Any audience that are listening to this, they're welcome to donate. And I'm working with Rotary International and our club particularly, and also a Rotary in India. And probably they will be a part of this conference also, as well as in the Hyderabad conference. So these are the kinds of things that are happening. The conference at NIRD, National Institute for Rural Development, and the other conference in Visakhapatnam, a coastal city, beautiful city, beaches. That's where this zero waste conference is going to happen. And then, so this will give a sample of the semi-urban India also, and on the way to villages. So that I want these delegates coming from abroad to get a flavor of that, who have not visited India, unlike you.
Yes.
You saw everything.
Well, I was introduced to what the International Rotary Club is doing. I never knew about their program throughout the world. International Rotary Club. Excellent program.
Right here in Evanston. their
Evanston,
headquarters.
and it started right here
In Chicago.
Evanston, in
Yes.
Chicago. The Rotary Club
Internet-
started
Rotary
here, and what they're
International.
doing here in Cook County, in the United States, and throughout the world.
Right.
And it's right here in our backyard.
Right.
There.
Yeah, in addition to what Dr. Tata told, like about those two conferences, you know, with NIRD and then the Vizag Zero Waste Column.
Yeah.
We are also holding like a small expo along with the conference. So the expo is the one like where like the business people, they can take a booth and then they can demonstrate like what is their capabilities, like, you know. So people know that, okay, this is so-and-so, this company is having this much of capabilities. So they can go directly to them. So that is what expo we are holding. And so all the industry, that business people, they can come and participate in the expo. And another thing is like our Indian organizers, if some of the business people want this, that they will be holding a meetings, you know, in between the government officials and then people who are visiting here. You know, once as an attendee, they feel that like they are interested in that, they will hold a meeting. They can arrange for meetings too.
And the other thing also, Sam, you are the architect of this actually. We have site tours
Yes.
for the delegates to go to see Taj Mahal
Sure,
or something, or Goa beaches.
First time we were visiting, we have got
Yeah.
a glimpse of the
Yeah.
India other part too,
Sure.
and
So,
then including all
some
that.
entertainment.
Yes, and that's what, you know, here in Cook County, we have problems in climate change also. You know, and the way we're helping understand green infrastructure, because that's a key word now, green infrastructure, that we're working with the schools here in Chicago, the public schools, that we budget $15 million.
Wow.
And we're giving each school $500,000. So with that, 30 schools that we're working with on rechanging their playgrounds, planting native plants, swales, impervious pavements to capture that
The rainwater. Yeah.
that rainwater, and the less water that doesn't come into our system, we're saving money because we don't have to treat it.
Exactly.
Right.
See, so here we have a program here in Chicago that we're doing here that you could bring back to India and show them what we're doing here with the public schools.
Sure.
And also with the municipalities on a lot of our projects that on the design side, we go to the gray facilities, and we're applying green projects also alongside green and gray projects now,
Go hand in hand.
right, Carolyn?
Yeah, a lot of communities are embracing green infrastructure to be able to handle extra water that they need to deal with that can't go to the wastewater system because
Right.
it's too expensive to
Right,
treat
and it saves
move.
us money. And where Prakash mentioned, you mentioned, Prakash, that when the monsoon comes, they don't harvest it, right, Prakash?
It goes away because
It
it's
go-
too much pouring in such a short time.
Yeah, and you mentioned that
Yeah.
that quality of water that's good goes into the ocean.
Right.
So explain some of the problems they have on the monsoon and harvesting the water.
You know, actually, you can do two things with water in a cost-effective way. One is storage, the other is pumping. I mean, you can desalinate oceans, produce fresh water, and all those things are available and catch from the atmosphere. All kinds of things are
But
there.
expensive
But they're too
desalination.
expensive. So these are the two things. And for example, you have to dig a lot of areas, to make this reservoir capacity. And then land is at a prime rate, because even in urban infrastructure, to create that, some little lake or a retention pond, it's very difficult because the realtors, want to build rather than store the water.
It's just like we're facing here in Chicago.
Exactly.
So these are the other problems. You have to create awareness about all these things. So that is a challenge for the government.
I think for all government.
For every government, yes, you're right. So these are the kinds of things that are there. This is not the lack of technology or the ideas, but it's people's acceptance, and then how do they accept it? When you create awareness, and they're going to make more money out of it rather than not doing it. You're wasting too much, or you have to spend more money to solve the problems later on down the street. But if you prevent that from happening, you don't have to worry about that. But that kind of a vision has to be imparted, as Carolyn said, from schools, the teachers, that kind of stuff.
You mentioned something, changing the people's behavior, which is the key.
Yep.
Carolyn, how do we change the behavior of people?
Well, that's a big question. Do we have another half an hour?
But and this is what we have this throughout the world.
Yeah,
How do we change the behavior of a person to save the planet?
right.
That's the key.
Yes.
There.
Yeah.
Starts from the home.
It starts from the home.
It starts, and as you mentioned, starts with the mother.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, Prakash, are you planning any other post-conference program that delegates coming from far off distance could go to? Because you mentioned a few. You mentioned the Vizag, you mentioned...
Yes. Those are things but I want to do something
Vizag,
also.
Yeah, explain why Vizag is so important.
Vizag is so important to me because I come from that area. I was born 40 miles away from there. Vizag is the central city now, and people are flooding into that area. So it is better to focus on that part of the country where I originally came from. And I don't have unlimited resources to change the world. I thought maybe even government cannot do everything. We citizens have to do something. Either this country is great. I was adopted by this country. That country gave me birth. So it is my time to give back to the community I live in, and to the community that I came from. That's why I retired 17 years ago. I had plenty of opportunity to work at the district. You know that.
Oh yes, you gave to Chicago, Cook County. You're still doing projects here.
That's right.
In
and
Cook
I
County.
did it. I could have gotten my another promotion, but that was the last job I would have expected. Besides entering into politics, that's a different story. But I chose to retire to make room for the juniors also to come up, which they did. So this is one thing I want, but I want to take these guys to enjoy also some entertainment maybe we can provide. That's the other thing I want to do. But whether we can fit it in the conference or not, I don't know. Yeah. But there is so much cultural activity that you can see the native Indian ancient culture 5,000, 6,000 years ago. In our own house, I gave it a music and dance school. These kids are dancing and learning music. So that kind of a thing, different. It is not everything, you have to also do something like play something, So that kind of a thing, if we can provide, it'll be nice. That's what I would try to do in Vizag only, because we'll come back from the conference on 21st. We'll have some time. Maybe we'll go to Vijayanagaram, the next city, to see my little school and how the kids are being changed there by the teacher, myself when I go there, things of that nature, because I can start at the root level, to change their behavior.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do that.
As I mentioned.
So those are the kinds of things.
And because our song is "Kids for Saving the Planet."
Yeah,
that's our song.
So that's the additional things we want to do, and it's up to the delegates. What they want to do.
They can able to spend.
They can able to spend, and they insist
They
on
are also
something.
under their
We'll try to accommodate.
And water and wastewater, your conference, the Water and Wastewater Conference in India is so important, and also throughout the United States, throughout the world, is that that half the kids that die of diarrhea in the world, half come from India. And here, India is excellent in IT. They're excellent in the pharma industry, but when it comes to the quality of water, maintaining the wastewater plants, that's why your conference is so important to have there in India. Because once that succeeds, you have other third world countries to go to.
That's right.
So maybe the next 100 years, Prakash, you could plan what other countries you could go to.
Better get busy. Better get busy.
That's why the future plans, that's why when we put in, it's not that we are trying to do this conference year over year.
Yes.
And it is gaining good momentum. It's everybody now know of the WWM and all that in India. So what we are also trying to do is it's not just we do one conference and forget till next year.
Yes.
So we are trying to do webinars. We have got a lot of resources here, wateruse.org or AWWA. All these people have got ready resources. So the people who are there, we can produce these webinars and get them connected. We don't need to go right away there. So that is one idea. And another thing is
webinars is so important.
Yes.
There.
And it is
because you don't
very
have to travel.
cost effective.
Yeah,
We don't need to go there.
Right.
We produce here and then.
Well, you can go to Carolyn's office, Baxter Woman.
Yes.
And they one Baxter and Woodman.
Yes. Yes.
and people go there and they could have a webinar there.
Yes. And it can be
Anytime.
taken to the India, and it can be
Right.
done in several places.
Yeah, that's a great
That is
idea.
one thing.
Yeah.
One other thing also is, which is again from the business point of view, like consulting firms like Carolyn's and others, training courses, okay, which is marketable. There is no structured training for wastewater treatment plant operators or water treatment plant operators. They don't. Like, for example, if Carolyn would like to take the lead, I would challenge her to do this. To somehow develop a business model for her company or other companies to conduct these programs to us. We will be their ambassadors to do it. When the American brand is there, people love to buy it. When I say, you can never be a priest in your own country, right? What is that? There is a good saying about that. You can't pope in your own country or something like that. What is that?
Well,
something like that.
Right. It was a religious quote.
But what I'm saying
comes good
is,
out of Nazareth?
But what I'm saying is, America is the leader in lots of things, science and technology, engineering, all kinds of things. Wastewater treatment, 16,000 plus treatment plants, whereas India only less than 1,000. So when you, as an American company, come and then have this program certified, that I'm certified by an American organization, because we don't give certification that easily, right?
Right,
Unless
oh,
you're
yeah.
satisfied with the good
Like
operator.
Carolyn has her PE license, you know.
Yeah, you see.
For her to get her professional engineer license, she had to take first the EIT, work 4 years, and then take the PE. I mean,
right.
it's hard. And plus, you got to get a college degree.
That's right.
Yeah. And you
And
know,
yeah, we are also like contemplating another model. Like we take a small village, like 2 to 3,000 or whatever that average size of the Indian standard village, and develop a water and waste management model for that village.
Yes.
Then we have got like these agencies like National Institute of Rural Development and all that on our side. Okay, this is the model, and try work with them so you can extrapolate, you can implement it in many of those villages. Things will be much more easier. So you develop the model for one village so that you can implement it in many villages.
Now, Sam, how many villages are there in India?
Oh, it's like 240,000 villages, like medium size.
240,000 villages?
Yeah.
630.
No, 700,000 is the overall total, but the village, if you take like 2 to 3,000
Yeah.
population type of thing, that is 240,000.
Oh, my
They are
God.
two different things.
So what you're going to develop in these smaller villages, the technology to handle this small group here, where we're in the United States, if we're planning a new development, they have the new technology in the wastewater treatment plant.
that's right. So we can do all this at the conference.
I promise to keep it healthy and
That's it, folks.
beautiful.